How to set up a newsletter block on Squarespace. Hey everyone and welcome. I hope you're all doing great. In this video, I will show you step by step how to do so. Now this process is not going to use, well, we're not going to be using any third-party application to get this done. So for example, if you're using MailChimp and stuff like that, this is not going to be discussed in this video. In this video, we will only use the tools that are provided with Squarespace itself. Because with your Squarespace website, they do actually allow you to create a newsletter and have people go to a form and subscribe using that form. And today we're just going to show you how to actually set this up. So to get started, you simply just want to go to squarespace.com, open up the site you want to add it to, and then from here you simply just want to go to the page where you want to add the form in. So let's say, in this case, I'm just going to add it to the home page. So just go and open up the page where you want to set it to be. And then once that's done, we can just go ahead and click on the edit button on the top, which is going to allow us to access the editor for Squarespace. Now from here, what we're going to be doing is just making some space for it. Now you can actually go ahead and use it on a pre-existing section here, like this one, for example. But let's say we just want to give it an entire section for itself. So it's going to be having its own space. So I'm just going to create a new section like so. Now you can feel free to go with any section that you want, a pre-built templates if you want to, but I'm just going to go for a blank one. But if you want, you can really just go for any of these if needed. Now I'm just going to click on add a blank section. And because it's not suitable with the rest of the site, I'm just going to change the colors for it as well. So I'm just going to click on edit section on the top right, and then I'm just going to go for background or even colors, and let's just go and pick the proper tone for it. Now in order to actually add the block itself, which is the newsletter block, you simply just want to click on add block on the top left, and you should be able to see a bunch of stuff that you can add here. And we are going to also find newsletter. This is going to be the one that we want, so we simply just drag and drop it wherever you actually want it to be on the page. Now, yeah, maybe you can want, maybe you actually want it to be in the center, and it's going to look something like that. Or if you want, you can even just move it to the side and just add an image next to it on this other side of the screen. Now, right now, let's just discuss what we see in front of us. So in this case, we have subscribe, sign up with your email address to receive news and updates, and then people can enter their email address and click on sign up. And they also have the we respect your privacy message. Now, everything that you see on this screen is going to be fully changeable. So you can change the text, you can change the fonts and stuff like that. And also you can even add the first name and last name as well to the form. So first, let's just go ahead and do something about the looks of it. So first, let's just go ahead and move it to the side. And let's say we just want to add an image on the right side here as well, just to see how it's going to end up looking like. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on add block, add an image. I'm just going to move it right over here, try to resize it to be almost the same as the form, like so. And then we can just go and replace this image. So I'm just going to browse stock images and find one appropriate. I'm just going to use it. So now that we've got the image, which we can actually change up a little bit. If I go to design, I'm just going to make it fill. And I'm just going to keep the radius as it is. Okay, so let's say now this is the design that you want to go with. Or maybe you can, if you want to really just change the entire section background and make it an image. Either way, let's just go ahead and discuss the actual editing part of this actual newsletter block. So if you just go ahead and click on it, you can see the pencil icon. So you can just feel free to click on that. And this is going to open up the settings tab for it. Now it's going to be divided into three: content, design, and storage. Content is going to be focused on what's actually the elements and the actual thing. So the text, the buttons, the form itself, and the other messages as well. The design aspect is going to be the design, obviously. And with the storage, it's going to be more like if you want to set up another sort of storage like Google Drive or Google Sheets and other types as well. Or maybe even if you want to enable some sort of double opt-in options just to avoid spam. So let's just take it step by step. First, we're just going to discuss the content tab of the settings. So we're going to find within the content tab the form name. Now the form name it's pretty much the least important one. It's going to be for you personally. No one else is going to be able to see it. It's just for you to organize things appropriately. So you can just feel free to give it any name. So let's just go for test form. There you go. Now the title, description, and disclaimer, all three of them are actually going to change on the left preview. So it's going to be changing live and people can actually see that. So for example, the title says subscribe by default. You can feel free to change it to be something like join now. And you can see right away that it does affect the text on the left side, which is the actual form. Same goes for the description. Right now, it's sign up with your email address to receive news and updates. Maybe you can just go ahead and feel free to, adjust this so it's going to be more with your brand voice. And by the way, you can even do more things like the formatting options for your text. For example, let's just make email address in bold. You can just go ahead and do that and, other formatting options as well. Lastly, we have the disclaimer, which is going to also be having the same effects here. So it's going to be changing. It's the one at the bottom, and you obviously would want to write an appropriate one depending on your situation. Now, next up, we have also the button text. So it's going to be what the button says. So you can just feel free to make it say whatever you want. So we can just do subscribe like so. And then we also can have the require name field, which is very important. Now, this is going to be enabling or disabling the names fields on your form. So if you enable it, it's just going to show the first name and last name as well. And it's going to be stacked because we have an image on the right side. If we didn't have an image on the right side, let's just go ahead and remove that. Like so. It's still going to be stacked, but if it is more, it has more width to it, it's going to be more like this. So it really depends on the size or the space you actually give it. If you give it more space on the wider scale, it's going to actually go ahead and be like that. But you can even adjust it if you don't want it to be this way. So let's just say we wanted to keep it this way, and let's just pretend we have an image on the right side. I'm not going to add it again, so instead I'm just going to move it to the middle. So if we click on edit again, if we go to the content and at the bottom, we see post submit. So you can actually choose whether you want it to be. So after people click on subscribe, whether it's going to be a message, and by default it's thank you, and you can feel free to just change it to be whatever you want, or it's going to redirect people into another page. So you can just click on attach link and maybe send them to google.com or something. It's completely up to you. But I'm just going to stick to the message which just says thank you. Now, design-wise, it's going to be very simple. The layout is going to be either float or stack. It's going to be float by default, which, as you can see in front of you, the fields are kind of floaty, and with more width, it's going to be next to each other. But if you want it to be on stack, it's always going to be on top of each other. This is the difference between the two. Alignment, if you want it to be on the left, center, or right, it's up to you. If you want to give it a background, feel free to do so. And you can obviously change the background color. So this is completely up to you. And then we also can feel free to add a stroke to it and just change the stroke color and thickness of it. If you want to change the corner radius, just go and increase this number. It's going to be more round instead of, sharp endings and edges. So the padding as well, you have things like that. The blend mode and the blur is going to be for if you have a background image. This is going to be when these work. Now, lastly, we have the storage here. For the storage, pretty much the other storage options is going to be connecting to other storage options like Google Drive, Zapier, MailChimp. You get the idea. But the other one, which is Squarespace confirmation emails, is going to be for the double opt-in options and spam preventions. For example, the first thing here is not related to that, which is going to be adding them to a specific mailing list, but you don't have any, or I'm sorry, I don't have any, so I can't really do that right now. But if you do, just go in and create a mailing list from your Squarespace settings in the email campaigns, and then you can just go in and add them in here. But then we also have the verification tabs, so we can make it so that it sends out a confirmation email, which you can adjust if you click on this. And you obviously would want to keep on the enable Google reCAPTCHA unless otherwise you don't really need it. So these are going to help you with spam. That's pretty much what they are going to do for you. And now you're pretty much set. You can actually go ahead and preview it. You can even test it out for yourself. So if you just click on save on the top right, top left, and then just preview, you can actually see we have the form here ready to go. People can just go and fill out their information and click on subscribe. And then what happens next depends on the post submit options that we have selected. With that being said, this is pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you found it to be informative and helpful, and thanks for watching.